But hello, Extinction Rebellion Tower Hamlets. My name is Richard Downs. I'm a stammering poet. I'm currently in social isolation with COVID-19 at London N6. My first poem is called Ideas for Preventing Climate Chaos. Just one camera, one news crew, announcing the birth of royal babies. Just one unattached family standing on pavement, waving Union flags. Just one newspaper carrying news about this way we all get screwed, or else the abolition of monarchy. A chance to collect and store all those zany Brexit papers, compress them into fuel bundles, keep them dry until rains come, then bottle all the hot air spoken in parliamentary debates, telling us how they all hate to get along with our mates, or else abolish Parliament. Support extinction, we all do, disease and pestilence, parasites that grow on us within trees are not always bad things. Imagine those who patronise, nitpick, abuse or marginalise, with the bickers and the snickers, getting expelled like hair from knickers, getting abolished too. I'd like that, wouldn't you? Talking of parasites, as we do, the time has come to do a review of all the dinosaurs sucking from this crew, shaking tins and begging bells, supporting charity CEOs. Wouldn't it be great to hear their L's, see spittle grow around some gels, as they finally understand homeless people and all those fuckers beneath the church and steeple, abolish religion, extinguish those, speak up for their extinction. Speak up for extinction. Let's host a fell rebellion. Social workers, psychiatrists, consultants, lawyers, newspaper editors, we want them out, so let's stand and shout. Tell the world what it's all about. Abolish those who stand and gloat, extinguish those who get my goat. Speak up for extinction, speak up for extinction, speak up. Let's have a rebellion.
Hello there, Extinction Rebellion. My name is Jean, and I write a few poems here and there. This poem I wrote a while ago because we had a challenge at the Highgate Society Poetry Group. This is called The Good, the Bad and the Couldn't Care Less. I am good, we are good, doing what we should. Recycling cans, plastic bottles, everything we could. Rarely buy clothes, as you could see. Trying our best, him and me. We have a small car, it rarely goes far. Buses, trains, we use our legs. No plastic bags for 5p. We keep to a minimum, him and me. Big business and governments have power to change. Chasing money, profit for personal gain. No care for the poor, dying in floods. Homes, crops, animals sink in the mud. Coca-Cola taking the poor's land, stealing their water to sell their brand. Great swathes of forests cleared each day. In the end, we all shall pay. Then the people who couldn't care less, driving huge cars, the biggest, the best. The couldn't care lesses, consumed with greed. Take, 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 more than they need. Buying, they must have more stuff. It seems they never have enough. Their huge vehicles polluting the air. Climate change? Why should they care? What will we do when the green turns to brown? no more crops to be sown. The earth so hot it's hard to breathe. Goodbye to trees swaying in the breeze. No lambs to bleat, no meat to eat, no fruit, no corn, no wheat, no birds, no fish, no creatures left. This beautiful planet left bereft. We are lemmings heading for the cliffs.
This is also from the Highgate Society Challenge on Extinction, and it's called Extinction. I remember municipal clocks before diamond mines were robbed, and clerical staff all told the time, whilst poets like me toiled hard to rhyme. And I remember drinking fountains before water got taken from spas and mountains to wash about in bottles of plastic, and I could rhyme without being didactic. Now Coca and Pepsi litter our shores, piling plastic bottles higher than tors. Lakes green and pleasant land is rearranged, turned to brown by climate change. Toxic fumes stop our children breathing. Now is not the time for grieving, for we must strive with great conviction to save ourselves from life's extinction.
This is a poem called The Source of Life. Do we drink enough water? We are told we oughta, trickling down throats like a stream. The good it does us goes unseen. Without water, tears we could not cry. Without water, our skin would shrivel and die. Without water, nutrients could not travel. Without water, organs would turn to gravel. Without water, toxins would not flush away. Without water, a dreadful price to pay. Without water, our bodies, like deserts craving rain. Without water, we would surely suffer pain. With water, no such pain. With water, a second refrain. The source of well-being. How water can soothe our bodies and minds. Watching clear streams bubbling helps us unwind. Waves with white foam crashing into the beach. Our thoughts far away, no one else can reach. The cool salt water bathing our feet. On the horizon, sky and sea meet. Occasional wispy clouds pass by. How good it feels to be alive.
This next one's called Elefanti sunt personi. This is a ceramic tile I found plastered on a wall, and I thought to myself, what is Elefanti sunt personi? I looked it up on the internet, and I found a group called wearepeople.com, who are here to stand up for elephants, etc. Right, here's my poem, Elefanti sunt personi. Elefanti sunt personi, hidden by railings, clear as crystal to be found, safe in Hackney, Highgate town. We are people, this is evident, wise and foolish as before, standing by a reservoir, trampling down green grass, just a while from the flask. Avoid extinction, this is my task. Raise my trunk, blow my horn. It's not too late to say I'm born. Shake my tail to say goodbye. We are people, today we die.
The next poem is called Looking for Spring 2020. It has been written by my dear neighbour Gwyneth Wilson, who's a lovely 90-year-old lady who has got an MA in poetry. she asked me to read this for you. When the new year dawns after the winter solstice, I begin to search for signs of spring. The steadfast lanterns of January snowdrops are the light and life that lead my way. A quickening sun is warming the land, prompting spring bulbs to bloom yet again. I long for the lilt of a gentle breeze. But in this year of February rains, cascading streams and swollen rivers, rain-sodden moorland, waterlogged meadows, flooded villages, houses marooned, beyond the limits of what we have known. Is this then the year that we have to accept? Excesses of climate we cannot disown. Nowhere in the world can we stand alone.
Okay, so this one's like a dystopian future. It was my first illustrated poem. Okay, and the illustrations are from a close friend of mine, Charlotte Wilson. It's called Alive Through Time, a dystopian future. Today I tie my shoelaces active, ready for my walk, holes in shoes padded. I pour directional lines wet and mulched, thinking as I go of this planet chaotic, stopping every now and then, shocked still, to feel every rotation through time eternal, knowing the only thing to hang a coat on for certain is I'm here, still and active, undead, alive to seasons, alive to movements, active, alive to dampened cardboard, wetting, walking, alive to spite the spare penny pocketed, alive to the Northland's calling, historic, alive to rivers flowing to our homes, flooding, alive to the panic, rain and sun, climatic, alive, ho, to tunes I sing, repeating, alive to the one and only deed I do, recycling, alive to being here, still and active, alive.
The next poem is about a development that was going to go ahead next to where we live, and luckily for us it was obviously not financially viable for it to happen. 3 delightful Victorian houses were going to be demolished for an enormous block of flats with an underground car park. Anyway, this is called The Tree and the Apartment Block. I live here.
We live here.
In this square.
1 story up.
Embedded in the earth.
Floating in concrete.
Deep communal roots.
In love with her.
30 years.
30 years and more.
I live well.
It's been good.
I feel strong.
We have loved.
I dig in.
We sleep. We dream.
For today they come.
For tomorrow they threaten.
To chop into my space.
To demolish and destroy.
To cut into the soil.
Victorian villas 3.
Hack away with shovels.
Drive in the heavy metal.
Today they hurt.
Today our lives are broken.
Grab and grasp and grapple.
Bulldoze beloved buildings.
Tie me up with ropes.
Swing a wrecking ball.
And pull and yank and tear.
Raising dirt and dust and debris.
At my lodgings.
next to where we live.
Tearing apart my tendrils.
The noise that we are hearing.
Scattering my children.
The darkness we are facing.
Away from the true branch.
The light we are forsaking.
They lift me away.
We need to get away.
Into the air without water.
To leave our friends and neighbours.
Hooded by tarpaulin.
Our heads pushed into sand.
A rope around my girth.
The ties we have to break.
Waiting for release.
Await a brand new day.
Cleaved into a new hole.
Another place to live.
A new place.
A new town full of strangers.
A ghetto of their choosing.
A new place full of dangers.
And yet I find.
And yet we find.
I find within.
We find within.
The will to sustain.
Our lives carry on.
And carry on.
And carry on and on.
And wish for those tendrils.
And wish for those we knew.
Left behind to grow.
To always know us well.
And burst and rupture through.
And find a vice that grows.
Concrete covering my former home.
To speak up for our homes. And finally, this was a happy little number, and it's taken us from winter and further into spring. Right, it's still a little bit chilly here. It's called Spring Like. From wintry rooms I spring, like buds bursting into blooms. Spring like a lamb bleating its first shout. Spring like a hare fighting its first bout. Spring like a crocus growing from this ground. Sing like a newborn making its first sound. I spring like a jack leaping from its box. Spring like the hunted, the hounds we will outfox. Spring like a spring flowing into rivers. Spring like a season winter has delivered. Spring like a frog whose time has come to spawn. Spring like a sleeper waking with a yawn. Spring like a spring suddenly appeared. Spring like winter's gone to make room for this pier. So spring can spring its sun, new life will abound. Spring like a bird whistling mating sounds. Spring because it's time, Ben bursts out his bong. Springing like a clock, spring won't be long. Goodbye, Extinction Rebellion.
Take care, everybody, in this terrible climate.
Stay well, live well.